Hello. I'd like to take a minute and discuss why Arsenal is still in the Premier League, even 7 points behind in the table. Number one, let's start with the fact that in actuality, it's not a sprint. Like you just don't sprint the first couple of 400 meters and you win the race at the end. You got to save a little bit of energy for the last 800 meters to win the 1600-meter dash. So it is not a sprint and it's a marathon. An 8 point cushion, an 8 point deficit was overcome by Manchester City in 2020, 2021. So at that moment in time, after 14 matches played back in the 2020-2021 season, it was actually Liverpool in first place with 31 points, and Man City was in eighth place with 23 points. So Man City were actually behind by 8 points, but they still gained the 8 points to win the Premier League over Liverpool. So this is my favorite example of just showing to you why it really is a marathon. It's 38 match weeks. Injuries happen, points are dropped, teams have hot stretches, teams have cool stretches. So, really, it is a long, long title race. And we're not even through the end of November and December. So in 2020, 2021, Man City was behind by 8 points after match week 14. Number two, um, Arsenal have, in the majority of their points that they dropped, they were down a man. So they dropped points against Brighton because of that. They dropped points against Bournemouth because of a red card. And they dropped points against Man City because of a red card. And they could easily beat City. If they didn't get the red card, they could have easily defeated Brighton, defeated Bournemouth if they were not down a man due to red card. The other reason is Arsenal have already played at Villa Park against Aston Villa. They've already played at the Etihad against Man City. After next week, they would already have faced Chelsea over at Stamford Bridge. And they did face Liverpool at home. Now, in that game, I think it was Saliba that was suspended and Gabriel had to come out due to injury. So Arsenal were without both of their starting center backs that allowed Liverpool to come back and score the equalizer. And Arsenal had a winning goal ruled out due to a premature whistle on a foul um, in that Liverpool match. So that's the other reason. They Arsenal already played at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. So Tottenham, Aston Villa after next week, Chelsea and Man City. Arsenal would have the return matches at home. The one tough match they have against the Big Six later on in the season away from home is Liverpool at Anfield during the month of May. The next reason is that points will still be dropped when Arsenal, Liverpool, and Man City face off against each other. So what's going to happen? Arsenal will, excluding the other matches, assuming that they're all even, Arsenal will gain 3 points on Liverpool with a win at Anfield during the month of May. So if Arsenal beat Liverpool at Anfield, then this means Arsenal are behind by 4 points against Liverpool. Are Liverpool going to beat Man City every single time that they play? The odds of that happening is very, very low. They dropped many points against the Big Six last year. They've dropped points against the Big Six last season, many of the matches ended in draws, but Liverpool didn't win them. Liverpool have Man City at Anfield. If they can't beat Man City at Anfield, then Man City have to play the return match on February the 25th over at the Etihad. Okay, let's say if Arsenal beat Liverpool at Anfield in the month of May, and in Liverpool they lose both matches against Man City. Well, Arsenal can easily overtake Liverpool based on that logic, based off of what can happen when any combination of Arsenal, Man City, and Liverpool face off against each other. The next reason is Arsenal will gain 3 points on Man City. So in actuality, they're only behind by 2 points against Man City, assuming that Arsenal can pick up another home win against Man City. They beat City at home last year, and like I've said, Arsenal were down a man. They were very close to beating Man City away. Arsenal will defeat Man City at home to gain 3 points, and assuming they're level on the rest of the matches, would only be behind by 2 points to Man City. And points are sure to be dropped without Rodri, the Ballon d'Or winner, in action for Man City. Aston Villa has only lost one match in 9 games. Aston Villa are going to be a very tough team for anyone to face up. Oh, yeah, and should I add, too, not only did Arsenal already play away at Man City, Tottenham, in Aston Villa, but they also already played away at Newcastle. And Newcastle are away at Newcastle. St. James Park is always a very tough place to play. Bournemouth in the top 10 in the table. Arsenal have already played Bournemouth away from home. So it seems like the teams in the top half of the table, Arsenal have already played away. Away at Villa. Next week would be away at Chelsea, away at Bournemouth, away at Newcastle, away at Tottenham, away at Man City. So this should factor in very favorably for Arsenal in this Premier League title race. And the biggest reason of them all is Arsenal get the captain Martin Odegaard back, their best creative midfielder. Guys don't have to be played out of position. They're going to get more creative in the midfield with the return of their most important player, the club captain, Martin Odegaard. When he comes back, then Arsenal are going to go back to scoring goals for fun. And they did so during the month of December through April last year. Arsenal still won and finished unbeaten even after the loss against Aston Villa. So with that being said, Arsenal with the goal differential are 7 goal differentials behind Liverpool, with the plus 13 is Liverpool, and Man City are plus 10. But we see that they're not as dynamic as they are last year. They lost against Bournemouth. They almost dropped points against Wolves, but needed a last-second goal. They also only defeated Southampton 1-0. So matches like Tottenham and Brighton are not going to be easy games if you're Man City, and Aston Villa is not going to be an easy match if you are Liverpool next week. So this Premier League is, in fact, much more competitive. There's more parity at the top. So compared to prior seasons, more points will definitely be dropped across the top 3 sides on a week-to-week basis. So with that being said, Arsenal are still going to be Premier League champions. I do like them to go on a big run. That will begin when the captain, Martin Odegaard, returns from injury. At that moment in time is when Arsenal are going to go back to being Arsenal. The club that we know is in the title race. Arsenal plus 300. Not that big of a difference. Didn't go to plus 500 or anything. Even the odds makers know that many of these points dropped are due to red card that Arsenal have played at many tough away sites featuring clubs in the top six in the top half of the table. Come right back here at the end of November, at the end of December, because last year after Easter, everybody was ready to crown Liverpool champions. But what happened after Easter last year is Liverpool dropped points in consecutive weeks against Man United and Crystal Palace. Things can happen very quickly at the blink of an eye, no matter at what point of the season it may come. So Man City were in third place after Easter, but still found a way to win the Premier League. It is a marathon and it is in fact not a sprint. Wait until Boxing Day. Wait until the new year. Wait until after Arsenal face against Man City February the 1st. A lot can happen from now towards the new year and after the first month of January. It is a long, long, long race. And I still expect Arsenal to come through based on the synopsis that I have provided to you right here.